My first full-time job was teaching art in high school. On completion of my studies, which was essentially a degree course at art school, 1978 I think it was, I finished. I took up the opportunity to do some teaching, but also during that time I was a practising artist and involved in what was then Sydney's relatively burgeoning artist-run initiative scene. So, you know, that went on for a few years and led on to an involvement in regional galleries. It's something I often think about because it's relatively new for me. I came to this job as CEO of Museums and Galleries New South Wales, having completed about 22 years running regional galleries in country New South Wales and in Sydney. So it's a position I think that is most interesting because it provides an overview of the activities of cultural places and spaces, the small to medium sector, essentially connected to local government and community throughout New South Wales. So that's kind of an extension of where I was, running particular places, to having an overview and an advocacy and support role for many of them, if not most. Well, I reckon I've always thought it'd be great to sit next to the pilot, because I guess that's sort of in the way of, you know, the person who's in charge. And if it wasn't the pilot, then I think the Prime Minister would be, you know, a very advantageous seat allocation, because there's that thing about influencing policy and advocacy, and to do it directly and passionately to someone who's in charge is something that I would dearly like to do. And to have an opportunity on a long flight, what's that, you know, 7 or 8 hours in any one go, you know, you could cover quite a bit of ground. Come from the background and perspective of an artist, I think it's important that people in jobs like mine have and I should be careful, it's not just being an artist, but it's the curatorial and it's the storyteller. And certainly in the context of museums, storytelling and collections, it's very important. But to come from the perspective of someone who has that involvement and knowledge. And, you know, the hot tips for someone wanting to get into it, volunteering has always been a very effective way of getting involved. Focusing on your aspirations, taking opportunities and chance. I think it's all those things, but they're probably components of any career, if I can call it that, you know, if people have something that they want to pursue, then to do so with those sorts of characteristics in mind. Some people might find that that's the way to go, and they might be able to envisage where they end up being. I think for me to be thinking about a career plan back when I commenced, 1978 or whenever it was, I mean, some of the jobs I've done probably really weren't understood or considered, and increasingly that's the case for people, particularly with the advent of technology and how that's expanded opportunities in the creative sector. Career plans, yeah, but really no, take your opportunities.